So not the worst thing ever. The big thing here is going to be trying to keep Reinhardt alive. And yeah, you know, your Widow's probably not going to be using the Reinhardt shield, which is fine. Hopefully he's setting up the crossfire. The Widow's setting up the crossfire here. Zenyatta is going to be really good just to making sure that these two guys can apply pressure from pretty much anywhere that they have a sightline on. And then we're going to, you know, Reinhardt's going to try and hold the front line for as long as he can, while hopefully these three guys frag out with the support of the Zenyatta Discords. So your main job is going to be pocketing the Reinhardt just to make sure that he maintains, but until the front line actually starts attacking him, you'd probably want to be damage boosting Widow or one of these two guys. So until the actual team fight devolves or whatnot, you know, damage boost one of your DPS and then switch to healing your Reinhardt. And this game is 1,000% dependent on these guys having good accuracy. Being that it's plat, who fucking knows? But this has the potential to either be really good if your DPS are fraggers, or really bad if they are Texas sharpshooters. If anyone wants the sexy Orisa image, I don't want to know what a sexy Orisa looks like. I'm going to keep that one clear in my brain. Okay, so first things first, you guys are in a pretty shitty position. Where you want to be is not in sight of the spawn doors. There's this box right to your left. If you stand there, you want to be in a position where you set up firing lines. As they move this payload, they can either be on the payload or retreat behind the payload. But when they're here, they can use cover, they can use health packs and whatnot. So this position is generally pretty weak. Yes, it's nice that it's high ground, but we also see the Widowmaker here, the Zenyatta Maker here, the Zenyatta Maker. Wow, we're already fucking up words. The Zenyatta Maker. And of course, you can see all of the people taking advantage of the space that Reinhardt has made safe for his triple hit scan. So really good start. Yeah. Thanks for the nightmare. I'm glad I did not click that link. Really good peel on that, that's the soldier? I was going to say that it was a good position for a Widowmaker to be in, but of course your Widowmaker and your soldier, you know, are playing job swap today.
Let's fall down, fall down.
Yeah. So this is one of the points in time where that really separates a good Mercy from a bad Mercy. Is if your DPS are being fucking wankers, and they don't have any brain cells, you know, it's you knock them on the head and there's this echo because there's nothing up there. You don't join them. Okay, if they're doing something dumb, you don't try and bail them out. Be like, hey McCree, you're a dumbass. I'm going to back up because you're in a terrible position. I want to defend the payload. So if you could fall back with me, that'd be awesome. You fucking moron. And then you just leave them, okay? Leave them to die. Because they're probably going to get themselves picked. And then you just kind of fuck off back to the tank and do your best. You know, if people want to do these crazy flank routes and they want to go get themselves killed, just let them die. Just fall back because they are dispensable. You know, they are expendable. They're the kind of the frontline infantry in World War II, and you're the general. As the main support, you are the VIP. If you die, everybody dies. If an infantry dies, he can get replaced. Okay, don't don't risk your life for a DPS player, especially one on a flank. So, just realized we have one emote. We're working on it. The artist who's working on the emotes is busy with school. But they're all in the process of being made. Unfortunately, Ryan decided to hold in front of tunnel, and this is where communication would be pretty important. Wow. I'd already be having an aneurysm if this was my play, or my game. Your Guardian Angel fuck up? So the first thing that I'm noticing is you have to be way more vocal. Widow peek me, you know, McCree back up. When you're playing Mercy, especially at the lower elos, is like herding cats, okay? If you let the DPS players think for themselves, you're never gonna win, okay? You have to micromanage them like a bunch of fucking cats or sheep into actually playing like a team. So you know how I said it would be really good if they worked together, used the Reinhardt shield, had, good Discord usage. There are pretty much 6 different 1v1s happening all over this map right now. And yeah, so whether you want to call your teammates toddlers, cats, or sheep, just healing people as Mercy is not going to win the game. There is no ability in Mercy's kit that, without talking, will help you win. The best tool that Mercy players have is their voice, telling their dumbass teammates how to play the fucking game, okay? Reinhardt, come back. Widow peek. Tracer on the left, McCree, I'm being attacked. Help me. You've got to talk way more. Maybe this is one of those VODs where your voice isn't being picked up, because I can never tell which audio issues come through on the VODs or not. But the biggest problem I'm seeing is that you're trying to do too much. And this is a major flaw that most support players have, is that they assume that whatever their DPS players or tank players are doing is correct, and they kind of just go with the flow. Support players need to have an A-type personality to tell their tanks, hey tanks, you're a fucking dumbass. Hey DPS, you're a waste of oxygen, okay? You need to understand when your DPS and when your tanks are making mistakes, and either correct those mistakes or let them know what you want to have happen instead. You're never going to win these games by just playing with 5 fucking mouth breathers and trying to heal. It's a thankless job, but don't bend over and take it like a heel slut. Tell them who is in fucking charge, and it's you. And if you don't do that, enjoy being stuck in platinum forever. I said it a couple days ago, but 90% of Mercy players give the rest a bad name. I would say your aim is cancer, but cancer actually kills? Holy fuck! Oh my god. Heal slut only works if you're playing with a good DPS player who knows what he's doing without you. I probably would have Valkyried anyway. You know that more than one person is dead. No, don't Valkyrie now. It's already lost. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's already lost still. Hey, Battle Mercy! I like it. That was the only thing you could do. Although you're getting yourself further separated. Oh, you're going for the suicide. Fair enough. Fair enough. So your Valkyrie was too late. The tempo, or the snowball, got too much speed rolling down the hill, and you couldn't stop it. You kind of stood in front of this boulder that was rolling down the hill, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna... And then it just fucking rolls you over, okay? If you are gonna try and shift tempo back in your favor, you have to be very decisive and very quick with the decision to shift the tempo back in your favor. You're dead. You survived that.
We got top left.
Okay. I just gotta find that fine line of communication where they don't get pissed like a crybaby after I say they're trash, okay? Don't say they're trash. Say exactly what they did wrong. And even if they flame you, they'll know. They know that it was a mistake. Especially if they died because they did what you said not to do, okay? And if they start flaming you, you flame back harder. Don't take that shit. Just because they're playing DPS doesn't make them superior to you. They're probably worse than you. Let's be honest. They're probably worse than you. So, tell them what you want to have happen. Don't do that. You're gonna die. Hey, look, you died. If only we had some fucking way to predict that happening. It's almost like I fucking warned you. How about you play with the team? Our Zenyatta's dead because you're flanking and he has no protection. Okay? If you tell somebody like that, what are they gonna do? No healing. I haven't been healed once this game. They might flame like a mouth-breathing idiot, but they'll know that you're right, okay? They'll know. Don't be a passive little beta bitch, and tell them what needs to happen, and tell them when they make a mistake.
I can go diva if you want, but someone needs to heal.
What? Did Reinhardt's shield just not work?
I can go diva if you want, but someone needs to heal.
Is his shield cracked? His shield's at full health there. His shield's cracked there. So it's oh, it did break. Did break. Diva timed that pretty well.
Rain, why you don't?
So one thing I really don't like is all of this advice on Reddit that's like how to, you know, trick your teammates into playing better through the miracle of kindness, okay? GMs flame each other all the time. It's just a way of the game. You have to have a little bit of thick skin. And I have learned the most when a top 500, when I was first getting into GM and I start getting into top 500 games, I realized that I was still shit. GM, but still very, very shit. And I learned the most when a top 500 just went fucking ballistic on me for making a mistake. And the mistakes, when I reflected on, I'd at the time, like, want to argue back, but I knew that I'd made a mistake there, right? So, I don't have time to babysit you or hold your hand or juke you off or give you a quickie. I want to win this game, and I don't have the fucking time to explain to you. Okay? Everyone, it's a competitive game mode. This isn't, Alcoholics Anonymous, where we need to tell each other our life stories. This is a competitive game mode. There's a time limit. And I need you to act in a certain way so that we can win this game. Yeah, so, support mains as a whole are known for being betas. If you be the alpha support main. Be the alpha support main. The DPS on your team should be honored that you are healing them. They should be, wow, thank you for those heals. You're not a mobile health pack. You are more than a mobile health pack. Be more than a health pack. Be more than a health pack. That kind of attitude doesn't work anywhere other than GM because everyone reports for the slightest disagreement. Be positive, but if people are making mistakes, you need to correct those mistakes or let them know what you want to have happen. And if they're ignoring you, then you need to try and take corrective action, right? I'm convinced the main reason Emong does so well is because of his PMA. No, Emong's a very skilled player. Emong is a very skilled player. He also fills to whatever his team needs in order to make the composition nice. And plays all of those characters very well. So no, Emong has PMA, yes, but that's not why he's successful. Any feedback in plat, attack Torb, find a duo or a trio queue then. If you hate the randomness or the whatnots of your teammates, but, you can't let that force you into a more passive playstyle, right? If you want something to happen, you need to be the kind of person who coordinates it, so... PMA is positive mental attitude. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm a very aggressive support main. No, let's scratch that. I'm a very aggressive support main who likes to have team compositions work in a very specific way. And if I'm healing you, it's because I believe that healing you is the best way that we can win this game. And I expect you to do your fucking job. And if you're not doing your fucking job, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know why. And I'm going to let you know what I think you need to do instead. He does it all, but I still say that PMA is a game changer for him. I was watching a game the other day with Emong on his team and Phasix on the other. Emong was super positive. Phasix was a little tilted. Yeah. They both played exceptionally, shot called the whole deal. Emong whiffed more than a few ults, but still pulled out the win, and I think it was because of the attitude that he inspired on his team. Maybe? And I'm not saying this is my permanent attitude, right? What I'm talking about, I take in a nutshell. If you've watched me play... support, which just happened last Thursday. I was on my support-only account, so I was playing support. Solo queue support. And if you watch me, you know I'm a very positive person. I make calls, I make suggestions, I talk with my team. Normally, very positive person. But when shit goes wrong, I am the first one to try and stem the flood, right? I try to plug all the leaks, I try and fix the problems. And I don't fix things by sugarcoating it or trying to use these psychological tricks to get my Genji to swap off Genji and onto a soldier or something like that. I tell people what I want to have happen. I tell people why I think it will work, and then I ask that they follow. You know? You don't... What I'm trying to say is that if you are trying to correct problems on your team, you know, don't assume that problems are on your team, and don't jump immediately to flaming your DPS. But, you know, if the suggestions didn't work, and they still aren't listening to, at some point you need to up the ante and go into alpha support mode and flame your DPS. So, be more than a health pack. Be more than a health pack. You need to be a subscriber to submit a VOD. I apologize. The amount of times I screamed on my crew to stay with Zen and don't run in as if he has IQ of -10 is countable. Relatable feel. Relatable feel. Did I say solo queuers are dumb? I don't remember saying that. Maybe out of context I said that, but... Solo queue, the existence of solo queue player is suffering. You have to put up with a lot of randomness. Somebody's already dead. You probably should have jumped off the map already instead of trying to fight this or heal your tanks. I assume the only thing you're doing here is just feeding more ult charge to the opponents. If that Reinhardt dies, you will have fed about 200 extra ult charge to the opponents. Oh no, it looks like he is going to get out. Nice. Widowmaker does pick up a kill onto the Winston though. Really silent. Either you're muted in team comms or something. I don't know. Dead. Here I would say, you know, you could also probably use that pillar to get... Okay. Die! Just die! Just die! Oh, please don't, Valk. So, the biggest problem, other than your team being complete waste of oxygen, is your Valkyrie usage is hot garbage. Hot garbage. I really like the Battle Mercy, but the timing of your ultimates is very poor. Very poor. And considering Valkyrie is, by far... with no exception, the most powerful ultimate in the game, this is a huge waste. You're Valking too late. So you're Valking reactively, which is not a bad decision, but it's too late. You're like, 6v2? I don't like those odds. What I like, the odds of, is a 6v4. And then you're surprised when you still get fucking steamrolled, okay? Valking is only good when it turns like a 6v5 back into a 6v6. Or if you use it proactively to crush a team. Yeah, but you use it reactively and way too late. Way too late.
Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
I've just got to level 25 and got silver rank. Any tips? Care packages. Is this your first time playing Overwatch and you got to level 25? Care package? I'm assuming you just bought Overwatch, you're level 25, and you placed silver?
I'll be watching over you.
Yeah, okay, so if you got silver, you're not that far off of the, you know, 2350, I think, is median, like the 50th percentile of players. So if you are better than 50% of players if you're 2350 SR. But you're coming into this game pretty late. You're going against people who have hundreds of hours of experience on you. So, honestly, my best advice for somebody who just got into this game would be to mindlessly grind competitive until they just learn the game more, okay? There's so much you're going to learn just by grinding the game. Switch your characters. I would not recommend picking a main until 2-star prestige. Just play the game. Figure it out. Learn. Enjoy it. Don't stress about it. Don't care about your skill rating. At this point, you are very solidly in play-to-learn territory, not to play to rank up. You do not know enough about the game to care about your skill rating at level 25, okay? Most people think that the entry for comp should be at level 50 or level 75. Level 25, you barely know anything about the game at level 25. So just play more and enjoy playing the game. You're way too early to be caring about skill rating at level 25. The Valks are big waste, but the team is feeding their brains out and staggering themselves. Do you just hold Valk forever and hope they stop trickling? So I've already said it, but the solution to this team is communication, and there's none happening right now at all. So using your Valks better wouldn't win the game. Certainly, this is a game that is solidly in the 33% of games that are unwinnable. Okay, we've already established that. However, if this was a more winnable game, or to make this game more winnable, the only way you would ever make that happen is through communication and planning with your teammates, coordination, positioning, calling the engagements. You treat them like children and you tell them exactly how to play. That's how you win these games. And when I'm smurfing, when I'm playing on low elo accounts, that's how I win games down there as well. I tell them exactly what I want to have happen, and by some fucking miracle of coincidences, we happen to win games, okay? Communication and coordination is a skill just as important, if not more important, than actually clicking on people's heads. Diamond is top 10%. Masters is... Diamond is 8. Isn't it? Diamond is top 8% of players? Masters is top 3%, and Grandmasters is top 0.5% or something. I don't remember the exact statistics. But yeah, if you're a Diamond player, you're top 10%. Honestly, you're still a bit too new for actual tips for grinding high. I suggest learning the game in general. Absolutely. Mindlessly grind, that didn't work well for me at all. Masters is top... I think Masters is 3, and then Grandmasters is top 0.5%, so... 1 in 200 players is Grandmaster. Diamond isn't too special. Hey, most the rank you're at never seems special, and the rank beneath you seems like, oh man, how are those idiots even able to like turn on a computer? It's all relative. Do they listen to you? Yes. So there's a trick, and this is I have some military training, and maybe it's just the way that I speak or the way that I give orders, but I do not use any shoulds or coulds or can we's. I don't make suggestions. I give directives. You know, McCree, come here. You know, it's I don't discuss. I don't open the door for discussions. I say what I want to have happen. And normally when, you know, I have a nice microphone, it comes through clearly, and normally people listen to my directions, especially if it makes sense to them. And I like to think that my calls make sense. So one of my big pet peeves about communication, and it's something... No! Welcome to the Elo Hunters, my friend. We'll get you a VOD reviewed. I saw you talking in chat earlier. It's one of the things that I coach teams on quite frequently is shot calling and team communication is not a discussion. It needs to be coming from an individual of authority, and it needs to be directions, and it needs to be directions that can be trusted. That's very important in communication. So don't be like, hey, can we? We should do, because that doesn't inspire action. Saying, you know, this composition isn't good for Ryan. We should play dive here. And then you would say, pick a person and say, can you play Winston? We need a Winston. And if he says yes, bam, you've got your Winston. If no, you go to the next person. We need a Winston. How good are you at Winston? They give an answer, play Winston. Okay? Don't have this group discussion. Shot calling is not a democracy. Take control and tell your team what to do. Thought you had a land this weekend? It's next weekend, I think. February 4th? February 4th. It's a Sunday. Confidence when giving direction is so important. People naturally want to follow confident people. Yes, you know, now we're getting to the psychology of speaking so that people want to listen. But, yes, that is correct. I usually do exactly what you said, but like in this game, I don't have the energy to do that, especially when I'm in tilting mode. I can't fault you for that. I, too, go silent when I'm tilted. And I lose games because of it, but relatable feel, friend. Relatable feel, okay? When I get tilted, I also stop shot calling, and my games go worse because of it. How much do you think communication as an alpha support would boost you up in SR if you usually only communicate small things? I feel like my shot calling is the strongest part of my game, okay? If you've been part of the stream for anything longer than a week, you know that I consider my mechanical gameplay, you know, the actual physical aiming part of the game. This is the part that I am worst at, okay? and I'm Grandmaster, and I've reached Grandmaster on multiple DPS accounts. So I consider my shot calling to give me at least about a 300 to 400 SR boost. Well, not 400. No, that's 250, I suppose. If I was completely silent, probably could give me, it would be much harder to reach my all-time high being silent compared to shot calling. I think proper communication, proper shot calling gives me at least 200 SR, at most 250, 300. So shot calling is a very important skill to have. Not shot calling, just communication in general. And of course, with communication, you can't just start communicating as a level 25 coming into the game. You need to have some sort of knowledge about the game so that the shit that's coming out of your mouth is actually relevant and correct. So there's a caveat to that statement. Did you practice a subscriber war cry in the military? Yes, I did. Yeah, I found saying let's go right works much better than let's go right. What? You just typed the same thing twice. Some pro teams have democratic shot calling, so obvious it's good for solo queue. Yes, the Dallas Fuel have democratic shot calling, and we know how well that's working for them, right? What do you do to cool off after tilting? Usually I just stop playing. Either that or listen to music. So yeah, I'll listen to music and play at the same time, which is normally bad because you lose the subtle cues of people sneaking up on you. And then I will only ever mute my music if somebody else on my team starts constructively communicating. And if they start constructively communicating, then for that game, I will unmute, participate, and then after that game's over, I'll just go back to listening to music. I just de-stress. I go back to playing to improve and playing to enjoy instead of playing to win. And then once it becomes less tilted, or I get a team that's actively communicating, then I'll mute my music and play normally. But when I tilt, I go to music. Some pro teams have democratic... Yes. I go silent all game until the end and go yelling and cussing at everyone. Oh, you're one of those. You're one of the guys that only the first thing he says is after the defeat screen, and then he just flames until he leaves the game. I love those people. Would you suggest for a girl playing this game to maybe get a dude voice changer? What would you suggest for a girl trying to be a shot caller? Dio. Is Dio alive? Dio. See if Dio picks up. Pick up, Dio. Pick up, Dio. Dio, so I don't like answering questions from the perspective of a woman because I am not one. But I know quite a few female Overwatch players, both in Masters and Grandmasters, so I thought I'd get perspective of one of them, but she may not pick up the call. What? Did you just give me hold music? Did you just put me on hold? Did you just put me on hold? What the fuck?
Hello?
Hi, Dio! Did you put me on hold? What the fuck?
No, I was watching Bunny VR! I was watching bunnies in VR!
You're watching bunnies in virtual reality.
Yes, hold on. I'll show you. I'll explain. Okay, so, if you look at Toxic E-Girl's chat later, you'll understand the context of why we were watching bunny videos. It is really important that we were watching bunny videos because, I linked something that needed to be brain bleached. Oh god, and... Fuck, what just happened to my volume? I put my headphones in. Now there's no noise. God damn it. And my headphones become unplugged. Hold on a sec.
Holy
Can you hear me
fuck.
now?
Dio. Jesus Christ, Dio.
Headphones?
Oh, where's my fucking KVM switch? There it is.
Is anything working?
I can hear
Okay,
you.
YouTube's working. Why can't I hear Discord? Is Discord fucked up? What did
Oh,
it
she
do?
just not hear me? Okay,
What
give
did
me a
it
second.
do?
We're gonna get an answer to your question.
Hold on. I'm gonna restart Discord. Give me a sec.
Okay, bye. I'm gonna get hold music. She's gonna troll me again so hard. 100% she's gonna come back and troll me. Okay, while she's coming back, okay, so Izabami. I hope you're still here.
There we go.
Can you
Okay,
hear
now I
me?
can hear
You
Yeah,
can hear me?
yeah,
Okay, so I had a question in chat that I didn't feel like answering. I thought you could provide some insight for me.
Sure. Hello, chat.
So Izabami, Izabami, asked me, would you suggest for a girl playing this game to maybe get a dude voice changer? What would you suggest for a girl trying to be a
Ooh.
shot caller?
Ooh, I've never thought of using a voice changer before. Usually what I do is I'm just really aggressive with my shot calling. So like if people like don't want to listen to me, I just repeat the same thing over and over and over again until like they have to listen. Like cuz the only way to make me shut up is to listen to me. If that makes sense. Like I'm just really aggressive. So like if I want people to kill the mercy, I'll say kill the mercy. I'll say it one time and if they all listen, I'll never say it again. But if they don't do it, I'll just say, kill Mercy Fountain, kill Mercy Fountain, kill Mercy Fountain, kill Mercy Fountain until she's dead.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I
And
do
like,
with when I'm playing support and get Dovon and Winston. It's kind of like, kill the Winston, and then if they don't respond, I just start going, Winston, please! Kill the Winston, please! If you just pollute the voice comms with the target that you want to die, eventually the people are going to get the fucking hint and probably kill the Winston.
Eventually they'll list they have to listen to you.
Oh, okay.
I guess like the other thing, like I've been hit with the like, ooh, woman talking to me, how dare you, a couple times. Usually what I do is I just like if they're just flaming me because they don't like that a girl is talking, I'll just like pick the easiest insult that I could come up with and just like dig at them. And I think like people don't expect it. Like they don't expect you to clap back at them. So like they'll either like just take the hit and shut up and play the video game, or like you can have fun torturing some random stranger on the internet.
Now, obviously, not all women are as aggressive personality as you.
That's
Any
very true.
tips for women who want to be shot callers who aren't toxic and aggressive over comms?
Yes, if you don't want to be toxic and aggressive over comms and like you find that people like are responding negatively to you, um just mute those people. Because usually what it is what I've noticed is it's usually one person. Like there's always like if there is someone who's being toxic and is upset that there's a girl talking in comms, it's one person, and usually it's just that they're mad that you're challenging their authority, or that like you're outplaying them, or they're getting outplayed, or they're not performing well, and you're an easy scapegoat for them to like place blame on. Like it's easier for them to blame you because you're a girl on the internet than to like acknowledge the fact that they're a shit DPS or a shit tank or a shit whatever they're playing. Usually what I do is I just mute that person and I keep talking. And usually the people who are listening benefit from the calls. Like the four, it's way better to talk to the four people and then just ignore the fifth and like mute him and ignore that and ignore him or her or whoever the fuck they are, than to like not talk at all and deny the other four people good comms. If that makes sense.
That's actually
But
you could almost alienate the toxic asshole. Just kind of would you mute him and then tell the rest of your team that you muted him?
oh yeah, I'll just be
Oh,
like, hey,
perfect.
I muted that guy, but I'm still gonna keep making calls.
Awesome. I'm just gonna catch up on chat, see if they had any follow up questions for you. If you do have any questions for Dio,
Yeah, you
female
can always hit me up
DPS
on
player,
Discord.
streamer, in mid high masters, mid high.
Yeah, we're in like mid high master now.
She's
we're on
almost at GM, so she
We're
knows what
almost
she's
there.
talking about.
we're getting there. We'll get there before the season ends. We got 2 accounts to get there.
I don't think there are any follow-up questions for you. Let me just see if Izabami typed thank you. Oh, it just says thank you. I don't think there's
Yay! I'm glad it was helpful. If you're in the Discord, message me or Lauren. We do have Lauren is Vaults.
Yeah,
on the
so
Discord.
there
we
is
do have like a gamer, like a girl channel thing.
we
in
have
the
a
Discord.
super secret hidden channel where female Overwatch players can kind of talk to each other about these sort of things and get some advice. You do have to get on a voice call with one of our female admins in order to get approval. You can't just be like, I'm a girl. But if you are a woman and want to talk to other...
Want to come hang out with us. We're
Yeah,
real nice.
And it's not a bunch of bronze players. There's grandmaster players in there. There's masters players in there. So
Yeah.
don't think you can't do it. You definitely can. So Anyway, I'm just gonna make sure that this is really good advice. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I just could
I tried
find.
getting
I just yeah.
called
You're looking at the chat now as well.
Yeah, I am too. I get called all kinds of things, but I mean, I used to be really passive at it, and then like I would just mute people and just do my own thing. But then I found out that I had a lot of fun, like just spewing the toxicity back like tenfold. But that's just me. But like
Yeah.
if someone calls me a thought, I'm just like,
You know, you and I have very similar shot calls. When somebody flames us, we flame back twice as hard, right? We don't take any shit.
Exactly. I don't take it. I'm just like I'm just ready to go. I mean, probably the best thing I ever got hit with in a game. I was queuing with a lower ranked friend. She wanted to practice DPS, and I said, okay, well, I'll just pick whatever off support I want to practice, and that way we can both practice things, and I don't feel like I'm trying to carry you or anything, and that way you can practice and have fun, and it's great. And I was playing Lucio, and Jayne knows my Lucio is pretty bad.
It's pretty body.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But all I was doing was like I was doing Lucio things. I was trying to call my speed boost, calling when I had speed amp, trying to tell people like where we should go, shock collar things. And this one guy, like we were losing the game, he gets on the bike and he's like, "Fucking woman, thinking you're the leader. This is why your people can't like lead countries and shit."
What?
Dude.
Oh
yeah,
my
he was really upset. I was like, man, I can't believe my
man.
small female. I think my exact words were, "I'm really sorry that I hurt your penis, but stay silver." Like I was.
Stay
not-
silver. Oh my goodness. I said stay masters to somebody whose all-time high was 3995 and he went fucking ballistic.
That's evil. That's so cool.
Anyway, yeah, so but yeah, thanks for picking up despite the bunny VR music. There was just a chat. And I don't really like answering from the perspective of a woman because I can't relate.
You're not one, right? That's fair enough.
And I haven't put up with the bullshit that you guys have had to put up with, so I appreciate you.
You're so welcome.
Cool.
But yeah, when you get a free Bowman,
Oh, don't sub to me. Don't. Isabam, you gotta sub to Dio. I'm gonna have to give that Isabam sub to the channel.
A sub? Hello, Isabam. Yeah, my Twitch is like twitch.tv/DFSDU.
Yeah, I'll link it. I think it was linked earlier, but if you do want to watch the most toxic female DPS main, twitch.tv/DFest.
I'm out here playing my pew pew characters, terrorizing ranked ladder.
Anyway, I'm gonna get back to the VOD review, but thanks for picking up.
Oh, wait, there's a VOD. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come tune in. I was warming up for open division
Oh,
stuff.
and good luck in the open as well.
Oh, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'm off. Thanks for picking up. Good luck in your games.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. There you go. Impromptu interview with Dio, apparently. And let's watch the second half of this VOD.
You seem well, Genji.
Watch the bunnies? Watch the bunnies. Okay, enough of that. On hold music. Awesome, let's get back to it. Do we have music? Or not music, sound? There's no sound from our... Bunnies, my only weakness. Oh, we're dropping a few frames. Why are we dropping frames? Nope, we're back. We're back. It was only momentarily. Oh, we've got a Winston Sombra Tracer now. It was weird. You went from triple DPS shield with 3 hit scans to more of a dive composition. This should be pretty interesting.
Let me get you patched up. Let's keep it moving.
It's unfortunate that you have to be the one on the payload, but without a second support, it is kind of your job. So when you're playing Mercy here, your main job, so like that, right? What a really good strategy for a main healer is to provide an area where you know that the team can return to if they need healing. So instead of chasing the Winston onto the high ground there, you could just say over comms, I'm on payload if you need healing, and just let them dive and then come back to you, and then you can protect the payload and make sure that it's pushing. So it's much better to just stay on the payload and kind of, beam them until they go outside of your range and be like, good luck, friend. I'll be here when you need me. But, yeah. DOXDO 2018. I'm down. I ship it. Yeah. Yeah, so right now you are being the health pack. And everyone knows what I think about healers who are the health pack. Right? You're, you know... At some, you always have to heal people, you know, to stabilize between fights and whatnot. But you see how that Genji, for example, has been at 1 HP and you've mostly been healing the McCree. Here you're healing people who don't need it. They've already been forced to disengage from fights because they haven't had any healing. So instead of having people disengage, if it is at all possible for you to, you know, heal when it matters, yes. And I know that conflicts with the ideal of don't dive. You know, stay with the payload. So I've just given you pretty much 2 conflicting pieces of advice, but do your best is really all you can. So stick near the payload. Don't dive where it's extremely risky. But if you have the choice between healing somebody who's taking damage or in a fight and healing somebody who's, you know, not in any immediate risk of dying, try to heal the guy who's engaged in a fight or going to be taking damage there. So. He's not, yeah, I could bitch about damage boosting, but that's pretty low on the list of errors. Damage boosting more instead of healing is a piece of advice I would give to people who have more or less the basics of Mercy down already. I do love how frequently you switch to Battle Mercy. Again, if you know you're going to res like this, and you don't think the fight is instantly won, you could have just Valked to confirm. You know, it depends how comfortable you are in knowing that your team is going to win this. So. Kill him! Wow, nice. Crouch? Are you going to survive? You survived, nice. Yeah, I probably would have Valked that. You know, normally if I was playing with a good team, I wouldn't have Valked that, but knowing how bad my team was, I probably would have Valked earlier. Yeah, so. Yeah, especially with that being so close to the last fight, you would have wanted to, you know, Valkyrie to confirm. So just rezzing normally when, you know, shit is getting dangerous, just, especially in games like this, you'd want to Valk early so you don't get kind of stuck in that res animation, because that's extremely dangerous. And of course, that advice isn't going to last much more than a week or so, since Mercy is changing and she's always going to have that delay in Valk or not. Do you have any recommended crosshair types? We'll talk about crosshairs in a second. I don't want to get too distracted. We'll finish this VOD and then I'll ask more or answer more questions. Jesus Christ, that's risky. Valkyrie. So, you know, if you had Valkyried into combo it with the EMP so your team could walk forward without any risk of real dying, it would have won. So you're very, very reactive with your Valkyrie. Like, you'll probably Valkyrie here since you lost 2. Whereas you could, if you had Valkyried before those 2 died, then basically what would have happened is that they wouldn't have even had a chance to use their ults in the first place. So by not Valking, you're decreasing the amount of pressure that your team is applying to the front line. It's reducing the rate at which the enemies are dying. And the longer the teams fight, the faster their ults charge. They're charging ults, they're using ults against you, which is snowballing the fight against you. And then you try and use your Valkyrie too late against the tempo and you die anyway. So that's like the 3rd Valkyrie or something you've tried to use to maintain or regain tempo, which has failed because you've been too slow. So using Valkyrie or any support ult offensively is not necessarily a bad idea. It becomes very common at the higher elos to combo Beat and Blade or Trance and Blade or something like that. So that, because at the higher elos, people are very disciplined about killing Genjis, right? So if you combo a support ult, you let the Genji be a lot more proactive about killing and less about his own self-protection. So using support ults not just to protect against incoming threats, but to increase the amount of pressure that your team can apply is a very strong support technique that you should learn, okay? Be more than a mobile health pack. You have to make a difference. Be more than a health pack. I'm going to say this every time I review the support VOD. Be more than a health pack. Yeah, this is definitely not a brand new. This person does not play like a level 25. That's too bad. Unfortunate timing with the Guardian Angel. Would you say Valk is different in that sense? I was trying to use Trance offensively to get punished later by Grabber Blade. Okay, if they have Grabber Blade, you, you should definitely be saving Trance for those. If they don't have any team wipe combos, then you're able to use your ultimate for things like... fuck, words are hard. Tempo and sustain. And you also have to remember, if they do have Graviton, but they have team wipe combos regardless of your Transcendence, like say they're comboing Graven Riptire, or Graven Diva Bomb, or Graven Pulse, things that won't, your support won't save from, take it in context. So if they combo 2 ultimates, and your 1 ultimate isn't going to save the fight anyway, then you can take the L or outplay the Graviton in other ways, and then maintain the usage of your Transcendence offensively. However, if that... You switched off Mercy onto Diva, I didn't even notice. For how much? Only for the last moment. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, so it's... Planning out the usage of your ultimate is very important. I've seen so many supports use their support ultimate and then lose anyway. So every time you use a support ultimate, it should lead to a 1-team fight. If every time you lose or use your support ultimate and it doesn't lead to a 1-team fight, you need to think long and hard about what went wrong there. Okay? This should be your goal. As support, every single time you use your support ultimate, it should win you the fight. Here's a question for chat. Pop quiz for chat. Pop quiz for chat. Does Lucio's sound barrier, when damaged by the opponent, feed ultimate charge? Does Lucio's sound barrier, when damaged, give the opponent's ultimate charge? That is your question. Yeah, let's do a vote now on your phones.
Vote now on your phones.
Vote now on your phones. Tell me, does Lucio's ultimate, when damaged, provide ult charge to the enemy? Wow. I didn't expect it to be this close. I thought it'd be like 2/3 with the correct answer and 1/3 with the correct answer. It's so even. This is so interesting to me. So interesting. Yes. 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 Not no. Poll is wrong. Lucio's ultimate does provide ult charge to the opponent. It does. It absolutely does. So if you get Gravitoned, and then you use Beat, and your team dies anyway. If your team dies anyway through Beat, when you use Graviton, you fed 3 times the ult charge to the enemy that you would have if you had just taken the loss. Transcendence. Even when people are transcended, they still take damage and it still feeds ultimate charge, okay? So, especially on Lucio, you have to be hyper aware of when to use your sound barrier because it has to win you the fight. Because the trade-off for barrier is that it feeds ultimate charge. It absolutely does. Of course it does. So if you use a barrier and you lose the fight, you're not just You're not just soft throwing, you are actively contributing to your own team's loss. You had the best intentions. Your team got hammered, your team got gravitoned. But if you used barrier or you used trance and you did not win the fight, you didn't just fuck up. You actively contributed to your own team's loss. Okay? Think. You have to be very conscientious about how you use support ultimates. Very conscientious. And I'm a support player, okay? I'm a support player. I'm proud of being a support player. I think that supports require some of the most skillful play in the game, not because of hard mechanics, but because of decision making and coordination and their necessity to predict actions before they occur. So I am going to harp on support players harder than DPS players and harder than tank players because I believe that they should be better than DPS and tank players, and they're not. Most support players, most tank players have a weaker skill set than their DPS counterparts, and I do not believe that should be the case. So if you send me a support VOD, expect to get your ass fucking roasted, because I expect the most out of you. Don't never use beat in a grav, because there's a few things to remember here, right? If they kill you through your beat, but they used an ultimate to do it, then that's fine. But if they kill you through beat without using ultimates, then it's bad. But if they kill you through beat and they used ultimates to do it, right? They don't get ult charge if they used an ultimate to kill you through it. So it's again, has a little bit finer point there. I'm not saying don't beat in a graviton, but if you do beat, you want to make sure that the only way they're going to kill you through beat is with the use of another ult of their own, because then you've traded ults, right? There's a whole bunch of things to think about here. Don't read surface level. You said, Jayne said that barrier feeds ult charge, so I am not going to beat in this grav. Guys, think. You have to use your fucking brain. Should a team ever use Valk to push in for a team fight? Yes. We combo Valk Dive and Valk Blade all the time in the high elos, and it works fantastic. With Mercy getting ready to change and people predicting more tank play, what supports do you recommend people grinding to learn the role more? Moira and Lucio. But if they're comboing ults with Grav, then it doesn't feed. Right, what Dismembered Midget said. If they use an ultimate to kill you through beat, then that does not feed ult charge. Correct. Should a team ever use Valk to put? I mean, if you beat against Tyre, if you time it right, since it doesn't provide ult charge to Junk, right? You can, but it's 600 damage. Are you really going to survive after 5 of your team took Tyre, even if you did have barrier? Probably not. And also, if you die before your beat animation finishes, then you lost your beat entirely. Boston is playing Dallas now. Predictions? I hope Boston wins, but if they do, it's going to be close. I feel like Dallas is going to win. I hope Boston's going to win. It's not an easy one to predict. I'm hoping for Boston, though. I'm hoping for Boston. Should a team ever use... what are you saying, then? I always say DPS players are the worst players. They tend to have shit positioning and game sense, at least Diamond. Yeah, well, you have this balance, right? DPS players tend to have better mechanics, but support players and tank players tend to have better game sense. Your Zen is going to be less commonly used, but Zen is always going to be an acceptable pick because of Discord. Zen will never be out of the meta. Man, even when running into a Sombra, Zen is still a good pick. Valk and Pharah ult is a great combo. Use the Pharah ult first, then you can often res. Absolutely, Dio. Hey, Arbitrary Sketch. Congratulations on making affiliate. I'm switching to OWL now. Hopefully you are still streaming in the match. Oh, if you're new to this stream, I assure you stream will still be live by the time you get back. Okay. Let's keep going. I think we're almost done. Okay, that's it. You lost. Okay, so let's get the support card. Where? Oh, no. No, I don't have it prepared in advance. Bronze tier streamer. Bronze tier streamer. Bronze tier streamer. Oh, God. Okay. Bronze tier streamer. I suppose my camera's in the way, right? Okay, better. The camera's out of the way. Joe next, so good. Me next. Congrats. You look like a fucking giant in your hotel now. I am a giant. I am a huge giant. Jayne is gonna roast my Zen again. I sure hope so. Okay, let's get to it. So, mechanics, aiming and accuracy and style. I really liked that you were going Battle Mercy. I'll definitely give you a plus for that. Does your aiming style match the character playing? Yeah, you went Battle Mercy. The times that you went Battle Mercy were good. It was the last, resort, but no issues there. I liked you. Voice crack. Why is my voice cracking so much? Anyway, really good Battle Mercy. Yes, we're looking at a Mercy player, but when you did go Battle Mercy, you were landing most of your shots. It was good. Cooldown management, and I'm going to give you -1 for rezzing without Valkyrie when you were going to Valk a couple moments later. And we'll get it to but your ultimate is generally pretty shittily used. Animation cancels and combos, there aren't any on Mercy that really matter, other than you can animation cancel res with pistol swap, but that never actually happened. So, it's fine, didn't really happen. Does your movement make your... you had good Guardian Angel dodging, but in terms of your actual strafing patterns, you never really pulled out your pistol to fight off a flanker, so I never really got to see your movement pattern. But you could probably incorporate things like WS strafing or crouch strafing or hop strafing, as well as canceling your Guardian Angel midway through your glide in order to kind of air strafe around corners and things like that. So I didn't see it, but I'm going to give you a -2 just because I didn't see it. It probably tells me that you don't know how to do most of Mercy's really good dodges, so 6. Mercy mechanics, of course, it's going to be a little bit more lenient, but I'll give you a 6 for mechanics. I can give bribes if you pick me next. I went Valking Battle Mercy in one game, killed both enemy supports in junk, res 2, and won the fight. Team was like, fucking heal while not moving 2 meters to get the hacked mega. Oh, man. I've said it before. In solo queue, I try and always get 2 reses, 2 kills with my Valkyrie. More than that is insane. Less than, like, if you get 2 reses, 1 kill, good enough. But 2 reses alone is not enough in a Valkyrie solo queue. Your voice is cracking because your larynx is popping up, probably because you're not speaking through your diaphragm. No, I've got a nice new chair now. I just don't usually, I don't usually talk through my diaphragm just because I don't like the way my voice sounds when I talk like this. So I normally talk up in my throat instead. What role do you serve within your team? Healing, yes, but you also, there's a little bit less coordination. And I didn't get to see your game sense because you never really attempted to make any independent decisions. You just kind of went along without. My voice is cracking like crazy. Okay. You kind of just went along with whatever the fuck your tanks and DPS were doing, even if it was wrong decisions. Who do you need to protect? You didn't have a second healer, so pretty much no one, so Where's the enemy likely to position? You kept diving with tanks who were either about to die or dove too deep, or healing DPS who were in the wrong position, so I don't like that you didn't predict that positions were going to become dangerous before they became dangerous. When are they going to use your ultimate? I didn't see you get caught out by ultimates, so that's fine there. How are you going to counter their plans? And you counter their plans with Valkyrie, but you used your Valkyrie way too late, and things just got snowballed. And your team fight won or lost. I'm going to give you -3, 1 for each Valkyrie you wasted. When should you regroup or keep fighting? It would be really nice to know that and communicate with your team. Your ultimate usage in general was wrong, and your information was not communicated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, sorry, -9. So you get a 1, right? I can count. I can do math. So it's not 9. You get a 1 for game sense. Okay. Positioning. Should you be using the high ground? Yes, you could be using the high ground, but since you were solar support, you needed to be on the payload. And you were on the payload, but you kept flying off of it to res and heal risky targets. So -1/2. When a fight starts, position help your team. Yes, it could have been better, though. You could have been providing a sort of safe location instead of flying all over the fucking place to try and, heal chip damage here and then heal chip damage there. And Mercy doesn't need health packs because she's got a 1-second regen. And pathing, it didn't matter on Mercy because you're I won't give you -1. Pathing doesn't really matter on Mercy because you have a fucking Guardian Angel. And repositioning yourself during your fight, I'm going to give you -3 for this because you kept flying into dangerous targets. So we'll give you a 5 for positioning. So you really need to work on your game sense. So we'll give you a final score of 5. So not that bad, really. But, you know, of course, the verdict of your Mercy play is that you are a bot. A shit bot. Shit bot. And your punishment, or your sentence, is talking to solo queuers, right? So the only way you're going to get better is actually talking to solo queues. So that's the number one way that you're going to have to get better, is by actually having to talk to the mouth breathers in solo queue and getting them to work with you and getting them to coordinate. If your DPS players and your tank players don't have brains and don't have balls, then you're going to have to donate that to them through the use of your proper communication. So, yeah, not bad, but by far the largest weakness in your communication or in your gameplay is your communication overall. Shit butt. Yep. I mouth breathe and I am offended. Oh, man. Too funny. Okay. That was a nice Mercy Vod. Flavsky. I like that name. Green. Hey, Dr. Tommy. Who's playing on Overwatch League right now? Overwatch League. Dallas Fuel versus Boston. Nice. That'll be a good game. I kind of want to watch that, honestly. I don't know why I'm scrolling down. Okay, who are we doing next? Rug Rooster, Afterpire, Beaky, Sir Pigeon. Are you here? Tracer Soldier? Sir Pigeon, Dirty Rez, Razy, Banana Waffles. Oh, yes, Sir Pigeon, you are here. Perfect. We'll do Sir Pigeon. VODs start after our first push. Me and Doomfist managed to get a quick kill on the Mercy and we almost capped first point. I got surprised a lot by Hans's arrows while regrouping. Any tips to deal with that? If you're playing, I'm assuming you're playing Tracer. If you're bitching about Hanzo, Tracer Soldier. Yep. Okay, let's take a look. Can I get a review today? It's been on since early December. Oh, you are here, Afterpire. Yeah. Oh, we just did, yeah, let's do, he is early, so we'll do Afterpires, and then Sir Pigeons, because he is higher up on the list of you, and since we were already talking about Mercy, we'll just keep going with this one. Okay. Okay. So this is it's a pretty short one. I won't reiterate most of the things I just said on the last one, but we'll see if there's any. It's the same map, too. Okay. We will make this a quick one. Don't forget about my reticles. Oh, right. Crosshair. Welcome, Afterfire. Hope you're having a good time at work. What is the tool you're using to draw? It's a program called Epic Pen. So I'll show you the crosshair I like. Excuse me. I should really put that on a Nightbot command. Try to do it quick. I have a thing to do afterwards. I'll try. So this is the crosshair I use. It's technically a circle, but it's using the black outline of the circle in order to actually make it look like there's a dot. So, controls, circle. This is the you know, you could turn it yellow if you wanted, but it doesn't really make much of a color difference. Because I don't really like having big crosshairs. I just like to know where the exact center of my screen is. Because honestly, I think that just using the distortion, I'm gonna have to roll my sleeve up to play. It's just a thing I do. Oh, and the one really good thing that crosshairs are good for is if, for example, on Soldier, we turn on accuracy, it can teach you about spread patterns. So if you have the circle set to almost no center gap but show accuracy on, it can let you get a feel for how big the spread is on your characters and at what ranges you can be on. So if you're just learning a character, I use circle so that it shows accuracy, and it's a great indicator of how large your spread actually is. and how quickly it develops. So that's a pretty good thing you could do in order to try and get better with aiming. So you know, you'll notice that almost all of the pros either use a very tiny crosshair or a dot, but really you should be able to, I have no UI, right? You should be able to know where the center of your screen is just by seeing the distortions. You know how the corners are distorted, so you don't really need a crosshair. Right? So, I definitely ran practice in a crosshair or at a training range without your crosshair. We don't need one. It's more or less placebo once people start flinging around, right? So, oh, missed those shots. There we go. Barely missing those. Good training. Anyway, so use a minor crosshair or a dot crosshair just because it'll make you better, not having to rely on it. Because more or less you want to be looking at the thing you want to hit, not the crosshair itself. So if the crosshair is blocking your vision at all, it's not a good crosshair. You want to be looking at the thing you want to shoot, not the crosshair, which is a very amateur mistake, is to look at the crosshair on your screen instead of the thing you want to be shooting. So just eye position and whatnot. Circle with 53 center gap is the size of the hook hitbox? Cool. Hey, owner. Snap, crackle, pop. Okay, let's get back into it. Mercy Vod, Gibraltar, defense. Ooh, bit of a weird frame rate. Nice position. This must be, yeah, I was gonna say this must be low elo. This is a terrible place to hold. So you saw where like golds were positioning here, platinums were positioning on the high ground up to our right in this general area up here. Platinums were positioning up here, and then masters and grandmasters hold up on the box behind the tunnel. It's kind of interesting to see how the positioning on first point Gibraltar defense changes between gold, platinum, diamond, masters, blah 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 blah. So let's get to it. I haven't seen this kind of position since the game came out. Well, you need to play in the lower elos more. This is a very bad position to hold. Okay.
One. Attackers incoming. I have found the enemy. Stop the payload.
In terms of like how you're positioned relative to your team's position, it's good though. So your team positioning is bad. Your positioning based on your team's positioning is good. This is not console, no. What are you doing? You're removing yourself from the team fight here. Don't try and heal that diva. Yeah, so there's two mistakes. So the first is that when you're retreating, you want to be retreating to somewhere. It's a very common instinct for players to just back up or press S if they're getting attacked, because if they're getting attacked, they want to run away from the things that's getting attacked. But you either want to be going to the nearest health pack while fighting back to somebody who can save you, like a healer. But the last thing you want to do is either retreat into Narnia or fly further into danger. So you were kind of retreating into Narnia, and then you're like, no, I have nowhere to go. So you Guardian Angeled forward through the winds and kept taking damage, and you survived. But A, if you're getting attacked, fight back while retreating and retreat somewhere relevant. Hey Jayne, when you are in these low elos and want to encourage your team to move their positions to the high ground, what is the best way to make them understand they need to move short of screaming because this spot is fucking terrible? Just give them one short reason. You know, let's take this high ground so we can shoot them better. You know, if they say that, no, we can shoot them better from here, you could just put the burden of proof on them and be like, oh, really? How so? You know, it doesn't have to be logical. Give them, like, one fluff reason. If they don't listen to you, then whatever. It's not like you can present a thesis to them about why high ground is good. If they don't want to play high ground, they're not going to play high ground, but do your best. So, yeah. And this is another reason why I don't like, I don't encourage people who are silver or bronze to play tanks or healers at all. Because at those elos, the only thing that matters is kills, and positioning is garbage, and you're not getting enough value. There's not enough carry potential for a healer or a tank player in silver and bronze. In gold, they start to become a little bit more useful, but yeah. So you never pull out your pistol once. There was 2 health packs you could have gone for, and instead you just generally Guardian Angeled around. And you also didn't blue beam the ally. Like, even if you're not going to shoot the guy that's attacking you, you could at the very least blue beam or damage boost the thing that is attacking you. Okay, so there's like 4 or 5 things you could be doing to protect yourself, and you're doing none of them. You still have 2 reses. So you can use your Guardian Angel to get to dead bodies a lot quicker. I'm not sure if you knew that, but you don't have to use Guardian Angel to get to living targets. You can use them on dead targets as well. Yes, that TP is pretty low, right? So here you just switch back to your staff. You didn't turn around. You want to retreat, looking at the person who's killing you with your pistol. Bang, 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 bang. You're just kind of like letting them shoot you without getting punished for it at all. So when you are returning to a team fight, you'll want to be taking a path that has really long sightline, so you can actually Guardian Angel back to the fight sooner. I'm not going to talk about positioning or team play, because this game has no team coordination. I'm just going to be working on the personal errors, right? I could be talking about how your positioning is trash, but until you're at a level where the team cares about positioning, you just need to have more of an impact on an individual level. You're not going to win games at this elo, which I assume is low gold. This feels like low gold because there's no coordination, there's no team. Like, I could not think of worst positioning for your team to actually hold at if I tried. So the way you're going to climb here, I was telling the high plat, low diamond Mercy that they have to communicate more. Here, you just need to have focus on having more individual impact. That's what you need to work on. The same advice that I gave to that diamond Mercy does not apply to you. It does not apply here. Yeah, this feels like low gold. There's even mid-high gold is better than this. This is pretty bad. So, there's not a lot I can coach you on in terms of team play and game sense because it just does not exist in this game. So yeah, learning to retreat and fight back, like, don't let people attack you for free. Either damage boost the person who's attacking you or just pull out your pistol and fight back, right? Mercy's pistol does a surprising amount of damage, especially when you're in Valkyrie, right? Especially when you're in Valkyrie. A Pharah that's not being pocketed by a Mercy will die in like a second and a half to a Valking Mercy. Yeah, like, you're not even looking at the people who are attacking you. One of the other main things is that you do want to position yourself in a location where you have the ability to Guardian Angel to safety, which would be nice, but yeah. I'm assuming no one's talked all game. I don't know. Maybe After Pyre can shed some light on that, but pistol. Pull out your pistol and fight back. You have a secondary weapon. Yeah, and then you left your, so you were too focused on retreating from the Winston, and like 3 of your teammates did decide to go fight that Winston, and you didn't help them out. So there's a point where you're almost over retreating, right? Because you need to focus on having more personal impact in these games, just based on your individual skills and decision making. You're not at the point where team play matters yet. So you know, if you want to get to a point where team play matters, maybe you play something other than Mercy, like a DPS, where, you know, you work on your mechanical skills and your positioning and your reading and things like that. Nice save on your Zenyatta. You know, nice. Good melee. Good melee. Pretty dangerous. If you were going to do that, I would have Valked earlier. You know, this is... You can't be indecisive as Mercy. Rezzed bodies only stick around for... Or dead bodies only stick around for so long. So be decisive with your Valkyrie. Also, there's two ways you can go up. You can ascend on Mercy by pressing space or jump. And you can descend on Mercy in Valkyrie by looking down or pressing crouch. So when you're in Valkyrie, jump and crouch controls your ascent and descent. Not bad. You need to fight back. You need to fight back against Winston. Please fight back. You need to fight back. You absolutely need to fight back. You have a pistol, right? You're getting no value out of looking away from your opponent. Because even if you don't kill him, he's going to return to the fight at a lower health pool than you left, than you found him. So you want to make it easier for the people who are going to try and avenge you to actually pull off avenging you. You know, good attempt at pulling off the like the pistol and shooting back, but a much better play there would have just been not put yourself in an exposed location against a Widowmaker. If you had held nice and close up to that wall on the right side, it would have been a lot better for you to take less damage and provide more constant heals output. So here you're doing it again. You're standing in the open against a Widowmaker. A bot res when they have a Widowmaker. So yeah, instead of standing... so stand... Oh goddamn. So right here is where you'd be standing, so you can beam pretty much everyone on point while zoning out the line of sight from the high ground. You know, good Zenyatta players should be coming close to 1v1ing Winstons entirely on their own. Like, in just straight up Winston versus Zenyatta 1v1s, I can usually get the Winston down to about 120 HP before I die.
Immer unterbricht mich jemand bei der Arbeit. My ultimate is
10 seconds remaining.
My ultimate is ready.
Not bad so far. Okay, so game sense is not the thing to work on when in gold. Would love to hear your general thoughts on how to get out of gold. Gold is where game sense starts to matter. This feels like silver. This is low gold. What is the actual rating on this guy? This is 2400. Gross. So what I recommend is that if you're a bronze or silver player, pretty much the two best characters to hard carry in bronze and silver is Soldier or Pharah. If you want to play hit scan, you play Soldier. If you want to play projectile, you play Pharah, and you just frag out. Game sense, I feel the you're not going to develop game sense in an elo where it is not required or not present, right? If you studied this game or played 100 games like it, you would not learn how to play in Diamond, and you would have no fucking idea how to play in Grandmaster. Even once you make it to Grandmaster, it's going to probably take you 100, 200 games to really realize about how different the game is played in Grandmaster compared to how it's played in Masters. And I had to relearn how to play the game between going from 4200 to 4300. There's a shift in how the game is played just between those 100 elo points. So you need to be, if you could learn game sense for how the game works at gold, but then once you leave gold and get to platinum, what you thought was good game sense is actually poor game sense or doesn't work anymore. So game sense is more heavily favored towards people who are already at the higher elos, I would say diamond and above. Below that, you're probably missing some level of individual gameplay. Like, there's major games, there's general game sense issues like don't feed, group up, you know, those things are just general concepts. When I'm talking about game sense, I'm talking about, you know, how specifically Winston and a Genji dive on the backline. We're talking about very finicky points, or what is the role of a Mercy in a team composition. At low elos, it's to bot out and heal tanks and provide as much healing as possible. At higher elos, it's to damage boost during poke phase and make sure your Zenyatta stays alive during a team fight, right? So it changes. Your role changes based on the elo and the difficulty of the games you're in. So if you're below gold, your individual impactfulness on the game should be your primary goal, is being as impactful as you can possibly be on the result of the game, regardless of what role you've picked. Chat has gone too fast. I need to scroll up a little bit. Someone talked at the very start, but then stopped. My voice had gone at the time, so couldn't speak. Fair enough. That Ryan just throwing by charging in solo? Yes. Fucking off melee, whatever. When you say have more personal impact, what does that actually mean? That's a stylistic quote if I've ever heard. So more impact means that you're either preventing deaths or contributing to kills. So right now, what our Mercy is doing here is kind of rezzing and then running away and dying. So every time you die, the amount of impact that you have on the fight, or the value that you contribute, is much lower, right? So not dying means that you will just, you can provide more value to your team when you're alive than when you're dead. Contributing to kills, preventing deaths, that should be how impactful you are in the game if I was to give it a quantitative statement. But right now our Mercy is dying, so she's not preventing deaths, and nothing she's doing is really contributing to kills either. She is, more or less in this game a liability. So I hope that makes it less of a stylosa quote for you. It's been established that on his stream it's pronounced melee. Running away when there's no teammates equals dead. Better to try and heal a diva or someone who might kill him, or just pull out your pistol and fight back. Yes. When I first started playing, I was in gold for a couple weeks, and then people talked about it. That was season 2, though. Maybe it's way worse now. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played in the low elos enough recently. Team playing like trash, but are blaming the sim. Yeah. And this is a pretty big crutch to fall into, where you just blame somebody on your team instead of continuously trying to win the game regardless of who is on your team. No one even acknowledged Widow's existence. Well, we are running a Reinhardt instead of a Winston, so it's not like we really can contest them. The TTK is so low. Holy shit. Yeah, it is. It's so frustrating getting close to the Winston kills as Zen, but nobody peels for you. Yeah, I can feel that one. Do you have any tips for taking down Pharahs as soldier besides aim? Lol. How to position so they don't double tap me? Just always keep tabs on them, and as soon as they peek behind cover, keep pressuring them. Don't let them get above you or flank you for free. You have to always be aware from them. Be aware of their position. If you lose track of the Pharah as soldier, she's gonna come down on you from above or behind and kill you. So you just have to constantly pressure her. Even if she's getting pocketed, you have to pressure her. You won't get the kill, but you'll force her to back off. I got the best compliment from Winston today. I feared that I only fed when I dove you. I thought to myself, damn, maybe I should main Zen. Nice, Deadly. That's awesome. From after I remember, attack is much worse. Doomfist is also super good, even for people who don't play him well for gold, because everyone doesn't communicate, so there's no punishment for diving people. Doomfist is also really hard to control, though. Where are the other shifts in like Masters to GM's ranges? I think 3600, because low Masters is still basically Diamond, but after you go above 3600, the game changes, and then the next shift is probably Grandmaster. So 3600 to 4K plays pretty similar, but as soon as you start getting close to 4K, the game will more often put you into like 4.2 games because there's not enough of a player population up there. So maybe you'll start to see the shift at about 3.9, but at 4K and up, the shifts become very dramatic and very rapid. Which is, when GM players get put in Masters, they have to play differently. It's pretty bad. It's awful. You cannot play in the same style in Masters as you can GMs, you can Top 500. The games play entirely differently. Your positioning needs to be different, and your engages need to be different. And that's usually based off of the lower time to kill. Yeah, each elo is a new adjustment, except for GM, where each 100 elo is an adjustment. I'm at 3,800, 3,900. I'd probably put the shift at a little bit closer to 39 4K. I feel like there's just a big skill gap between low GM and high GM as bronze to masters. Well, bell curves are exponential, right? The difference between a 4K player and a 4.2K player is massive. 4.2 to 4.3, another massive. 4.3 to 4.4, above 4.4, once you get to 4.6 players, those guys are literal gods, right? So, yeah, you know, once you get into mid-high GM, the level at which the skill increases with skill rating is more or less exponential, which is why it sucks fucking balls when you're in a 4K average game and you're a 4.2K rated support and the opponent have a 4.2K rated DPS. It is fucking awful. I hate it. Those games are always losses. If I'm the 4.2K support and I'm in a 4K average elo game and the enemy has a 4K average team except for a 4.2K rated DPS, I'm fucked. So I hate it. I hate it. Season 2 is about mid-plat this season? Yeah, I don't know. There's a shift at 28 and 3,200. 2,900 is a big shift. 2,900 is what I consider the devil's elo. Elo hell does exist, and it is 2,900. It took me 5 hours to get out of 2,900 when I was smurfing on a new account. I just got 2 CP, and I was playing support only, and 2,900 took me forever to get out of. Fuck 2,900. What kind of shifts are there at 4.2K from Masters? What are the differences? The big differences is the support play. So how the supports operate. At 4.2K, the DPS become insanely efficient at killing supports. So the supports have to be, instead of healing tanks, a Masters support player will have really good mechanics and always keep their tanks alive and use their support ultimates properly. And 4.2K supports have the ability to 1v1 4.2K flankers, right? So you see supports that play a lot more defensive, have a lot higher duel potential, and also the tanks require less healing at 4.2K. So I'd say the support gameplay is the one that changes the most differently, although tanks become way more aggressive. Way more aggressive. Instead of tanks and masters trying their best to protect their team, tanks and grandmasters usually do their best to make as much space as well as contribute to frags. And then DPS, the time to kill just drops dramatically. There are loads of GM smurfs between 3,600 to 4,000. Yes. How to get better with relaying information for someone who isn't using mics in team games? Just practice. You have to use a mic. Yeah, everything bad about this game occurs between 2,900 and 3,000. That elo is elo hell. If you are like, I'm in elo hell, and you give me any other number but 2,900, I'm going to be like, no, you're shit. If you're like, I'm in elo hell, and you tell me 2,900, I'm going to be like, yeah, probably. Fuck that elo so much. It's got the people who decayed for Masters. It's got the people who are trying to get to Diamond for the first time. It's everything bad about everything happens at 2,900. Anyway, let's keep watching.
Score 0-2. Switching sides. Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
We got a Tracer Soldier VOD coming up after this one, by the way. I don't know, 3,400 isn't as bad. And no elo below 2,900 is elo hell, because at that point, like, below 2,900, the average Masters or Grandmasters player can hard carry. 2,900 is where a Masters smurf would have to actually care about teamwork. So even if you have the individual skill of a Masters, you need teamwork to climb through 2,900 in Diamond. Honestly, I think the best way to climb out of 2900 isn't playing DPS, but playing tank. If you can control the engagements in 2900 and force your team to be really aggressive, the big problem at 2900 that I found was passivity. So it always came down to whoever had, you know, a Junkrat or something like that and would get Riptire kills or zone out the tanks or whatnot. So I think tank is actually the best hard carry at 2900.
Attack.
Jezzy, I go in order. So if people are in the chat, I'm going to review their VODs first. There's a huge shortage of main tanks in the ladder as well as in competitive teams right now. If you want to eventually get picked up by a team and you're like, what should I play? Please, for the love of fucking God, play main tank. Overwatch needs more main tank players. Christ.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing. Escort the payload.
Someone call a doctor?
I like that you're damage boosting here. You were being a little bit heal beam heavy on the first half, but I like that you're blue beaming here. The Orisa pick is kind of among us, but that's unfortunate you didn't get the heal beam on. So tiny mistakes like that, you can't allow to have happen there. You can't, especially on Mercy, you can't miss heals on people. That's not acceptable. Your team is... There's no way. Your tanks are taking so much damage. They're getting no value, and they're taking no space. This is going to go badly. This is going to go very badly. So the tanks that you have on your team are being very ineffective. They're not creating space. They're not contributing to kills, and they're feeding ult charge. So it's like the trifecta of shit. Both of your tanks are under the trifecta of shit right now. So if this was me playing, I would have immediately swapped off Mercy. I would have gone Zenyatta or Ana, something with more frag potential, because healing a tank that is providing me on my team with no value is just going to make it worse. So not only are they providing no value, taking no space, not contributing kills, and feeding ult charge, but we've made the feeding of the ult charge even more dramatic. So by healing useless tanks, you're actually making it worse for yourself. Go something with a little bit more frag potential or utility. Something like a Zenyatta, so you can use discords, you can spam, contribute to frags yourself, and could have a good support ult. Ana, so you can nano boost as well as use your grenade in your sleeps. You need to provide more value to your team than being Mercy and pocketing useless tanks.
Your support has arrived.
You are slow on connecting your heal beam to targets. Are you using toggle beam connection?
Damage amplified. Let's get you back out there.
The only setting that I would recommend changing on Mercy is changing Guardian Angel from toggle to hold, and I wouldn't change anything else. You're not going to kill a Valking Mercy. You're so close to your spawn, there's no reason to res anyone at all unless it's a main tank in the middle of a team fight and it's safe for you to do so. You're not going to kill her. Going for kills, and this applies to a DPS as well, going for kills that have a very low chance of success reduces your overall value output. For example, if you were a soldier, instead of trying to kill a Valking Mercy and missing 80% of your shots, you could just farm a tank, get Visor, and then kill Mercy that way. So going for these really low chance of success kills is not a good plan. No. This game's a loss, right? Your tanks are... You're getting out-spammed, your tanks are just feeding ult charge, you're not... It's impossible. No Mercy player in the world, no matter how good, could carry this game right now. This is, again, in the solid 33% of just straight-up unwinnable games. I don't care if you were fucking Stormy Eyes, Veil, Eevee, Aspen. I don't care who you were. This game is unwinnable on Mercy. And you just have to accept that some games are unwinnable, and you can't let that tilt you. Understand when games are lost, play to improve. Make sure you're still enjoying the game as much as you possibly can, and better luck next time, right? What is your opinion on Guardian Angel prefers beam target? So I use Guardian Angel prefers beam target on because I play a fuck ton of pharmacy. Okay? And what I like to do is I like to provide recon to my Pharah by looking at the ground instead of at my Pharah, and then Guardian Angeling without having to look at her. So because I play pharmacy, I prefer Guardian Angel prefer beam target on, which also lets me to Guardian Angel over ledges and beyond corners if my beam is still connected to them, but I've lost line of sight. So I definitely prefer Guardian Angel prefer beam target on. I don't think the game's winnable.
Let's get you back out there.
What tank would you have chosen on this map, and how would you play to carry? If I was playing tank, I would have either gone D.Va to frag their Pharah and go from there, because D.Va is a very strong solo tank, or I would have gone Roadhog and flanked. So either a flanking Hog here or a brawling D.Va would be what I would go to carry this game.
I could use something. Healing stream engaged.
You know, I'm not saying that a better Mercy wouldn't make the game less of a steamroll, but even if you had a very good Mercy here and a Mercy player who didn't switch to anything, it would be insanely difficult to come anywhere close to an even game here. Is flanking Hog a legit playstyle? Hog is one of my worst characters, and he's not really seen outside of like static defense or anti-dive compositions. So in like coordinated team play, flank Hog is in solo queue, he seems to be pretty good. I wouldn't play flank Hog in a tournament, but in solo queue where people are disorganized, yeah. So on the ladder, yeah, flank Hog's viable. In tournaments, no. Low chance of success, right? You don't want to be going for these low chance of success plays. Yeah.
A speedy recovery.
Feeling spry.
Where does it go?
And the reason Roadhog is so good in solo queue is because he doesn't need the support of anyone else, right? He can heal himself, he can create space and tank damage, and he can kill people. So he is the perfect low elo solo character because he can do all of the team roles on himself for himself. There's not many other characters that can do that. Tracer, pretty much. Soldier, a little bit. Doesn't tank, though. He's still really squishy. May, I guess, but May's really weak. That would only be like gold and platinum. Soldier's too weak to kind of do the tank role. Tracer can tank by making space, so she plays more of an off tank by making space. And she can also tank damage by using recall and her mobility. So she doesn't straight up like actually take the damage and tank it, but she can mitigate it in other ways. So May is weak. I'm sorry, Puffa. May is weak.
We need to keep the pain
6 Roadhogs, no items, final destination? That sounds awful. So. Yeah, so the big thing that you need to learn to do is to retreat. While, like a fighting retreat. I'd Valkyrie as soon as you got it here. Valkyrie. Nice! You actually did it! You're not going to touch the payload, are you? Random question. Can you report people for advertising their Twitch stream in chat after a game finishes? I don't think so. If they don't spam it. If they're spamming it, yeah, you can report them for spam. Otherwise, no. Okay. Let's get out of that. We'll just do it quick. So, the big issue, we're not going to go through the report card because there wasn't enough relevant to the report card to actually talk about. But the big issue is you need to work on your retreats and protecting yourself as Mercy, which means don't try and save people who are out of position and about to die, because you'll probably end up in the exact location that was dangerous enough to get that person killed, and then you'll also die. And the second thing you need to learn is how to fight back and how to position yourself in order to survive. So 2 things. If you do get caught out, either damage boost the thing that's peeling for you or pull out your pistol and fight back. And always as Mercy, keep somebody who's at long range within Guardian Angel line of sight to you. So as soon as you get dove, you can just Guardian Angel away. But you need to work on your survivability as Mercy. And then after your survivability is improved, you can work on your other skills. But 100% staying alive is what needs to happen first for you to become better. It needs to be your first priority. And this goes for a lot of other characters, right? If you are going to work on one part of your playstyle, and only one part of your playstyle, the part that you should work on is how to figure out how not to die. And there are a lot of skills that involve not dying. So if you're trying to do like a self-correction, you should have kind of like you should have a box, or just have a piece of paper on your desk split into 4 sections. Okay? We'll say this is good. This is position. This is game sense. And this is mechanics. So when you die, you would look over to this piece of paper with a pencil and you go, I died because I was out of position. That time I died because I didn't realize their Genji had ult. That time I died because my aim went all potato and the enemy soldier outdueled me. That time I died because I was contesting in overtime, and really I think I made the right decision here even though I got killed. You know? This time I died because I didn't take the high ground and I was dove. This time I mismanaged my cooldown and I used my healing station too early and I died because they dove me as soldier. You know, this time I didn't regroup and I trickled, or I didn't watch the kill feed. I didn't realize I was fighting 2v6. And then you go through, and then once you realize, you know, where your check marks are on this this chart, then you realize the skills that you need to work on. So the number one thing you can do to try and improve is figure out what is getting you killed and trying to reduce the number of deaths that you have in a game. You don't need the high, like you know, when we're talking about skill floor and skill ceiling, Mercy doesn't have the highest skill ceiling as far as mechanics goes, but she does require a certain understanding of her mechanics, her resurrects, what her Valkyrie does, how to use fly around in Valkyrie, how to Guardian Angel. You know, there are mechanics present on Mercy that must be mastered for you to be a good Mercy player. Okay. He doesn't shift into dead bodies. I don't know if he knows he can. So yeah, your the verdict is that you're dead. You're a shitty, dead, rotting corpse, and your verdict is to, or your sentence is to try and actually put up with the suffering of life that is solo queue Overwatch. It drives me nuts. I've got the same guy advertising for 4 games in a row, and he was kind of tilty, and I found myself getting so tilted. Just mute him from chat or squelch him, right? So. You know, think of it in perspective. He's trying to... Streaming's not easy, man. You try and get exposure any way you can. I kind of feel for the guy. I got really lucky and my stream blew up. You know, most people don't. So, props to him for sticking with it and trying to get his stream growing. After it's only watching this back and you pointed out, I realized my retreating is terrible. Yeah, it's a major weakness after Pyre. Major weakness. Did I misspell mechanics? Fuck. That feels so gross. If any case, if Jayne has any tips that might lead to outcomes, sometimes what did most Silly Divas say that you're... I don't know what you're replying to. Hey, could you give tips on streaming? Just be yourself. If I was to give one tip on streaming, A, you gotta enjoy it yourself. And B, you can't be a different person on camera than you are off camera. I don't have this crazy streaming personality or entertainer. I don't put on an act when I go on camera. I'm just here. I'm hanging out with you guys. I'm having friends, and I'm being myself. And as long as you enjoy it and you be yourself, then who the fuck cares if anyone watches, really? You know, don't go into streaming with the intention of making it big, making it famous, and quitting your day job. Do it because you enjoy it first and foremost. But if I'm respawning, they can't farm ult charge. If I'm dead, you can't farm me for ult charge. Haha, 900 IQ. If you have a bad game, just take a few seconds before queuing again so that you don't match with the same guy. Absolutely. Not sure if that would work in higher ranks, though, because the player pool is smaller. Yeah. It's pretty easy to queue snipe in Grandmaster. Thanks, Big Mike. Does OS help with aim like at all? OS doesn't help with aim, it helps with visual acuity. So yes, it does. But you have to remember that OS is 2-dimensional and Overwatch is 3-dimensional. So it will not lead you to be a better aimer. It will just teach you visual acuity and which muscles and how to control your mouse and make you more familiar and accurate with controlling your mouse. But you will still, at some point, still need to take your improved hand-eye coordination and visual acuity and transfer those skills into aiming in Overwatch. So yes, it will help. Playing OS will help you with Overwatch aim, but not directly. If this was an alternating off cam, you'd be catatonic. Ow. Ow. Any advice on how to deal with playing against Smurfs, either as an individual player or as a team? Not every Smurf is a threat, but the ones who are obviously higher GM, I play around 3,500, sometimes feel like the game becomes almost impossible. So, I like playing against Smurfs. I really do. I Smurf myself quite frequently. I don't try hard to smash. I either Smurf to learn new characters, so it's more or less an alt account, not like hard Smurfing, or I do it to play with friends. And even when I'm playing with friends, I don't hard carry, I don't go full bore or anything like that because that's not fun for me. But sometimes you do have people who are Smurfing. They go down 500, 1,000, 2,000 elo, and they Smurf and they stomp at those elos to make themselves feel better. You do get those people. However, I think it's a good experience, and you should consider it a good experience. So imagine this game in gold and how I said that you aren't going to learn any game sense by playing in these sorts of games. If you did have a person who is 1,000 or 1,500 elo above gold, so if there was a Master Smurf in this game and they were crushing you, instead of getting frustrated that you're getting crushed, you should be looking at what they are doing and what is allowing them to crush you. Okay? So at some point in time, you want to be at the rank where those Smurfs aren't Smurfing, they're on their mains. You want to, if you're looking to improve and you're not just playing this game for fun, at one point, you want to be in the games that have those people on their main accounts and you want to be able to beat those people on their main accounts. So if you go against a Smurf, stop bitching, stop whining, and start trying to figure out what makes them good. What are they doing that I am not? What is allowing them to hard carry this team-based game as an individual? And you will start to pick up skills. You will start to pick up tactics. And then once you've kind of figured out what they're doing, then you have to figure out how to counter them. So don't get pissed at them, because you don't want to win this game. You want to win the next 100 games. And you want to get to the elo that Smurf normally plays at, and then you want to get better than that Smurf.